My name is Harold Lyons. That's spelt with a Y. My favourite colour is a light blue. I think that the world is a beautiful place. There are some wonderful, wonderful things that I've seen in different countries. I lost a lot of photographs, and I have found the last two, I think it was. Show them. This is one that I found. I was once asked, why do you believe in what you are? But I have a deep, deep faith, which is much deeper. You cannot touch it, you cannot see it, but you can feel it within yourself. I think that we must think of other people and love other people as much as we love ourselves. I go back to 1962, driving my car along Evershot Street. That's Euston. Sun was shining. I was happy as a tomboy. I had everything in the world, living in Mayfair and having contracts to go to Japan in my pocket. I thought, how lucky I am. The car, I stopped at the red lights. The car in front the motorcycle in front went off on the yellow lights, and then suddenly, as I put the car into gear, I heard a roar. I looked to my right, and a car came through his red lights, hit me once, bounced off, hit me twice, bounced off, and hit me the third time, and went through me. As I passed out, something came into my mind. Man proposes, the Almighty disposes. I lost my eyesight, a good part of my eyesight, but I became deaf for over 10 years. I moved to Chiswick and lived in a back room. A friend of mine came to see me with a newspaper, and he read that the magnate Gulbenkian was giving a prize, a special prize, to any musician in London, no matter their age or their sex or their colour, it didn't matter. And there were 3 prizes to study at the Guildhall School of Music. So I told my friend, I said, I've got an idea, apply. He said, you're Meshuggah. How can you? He said, you can't hear a thing. I said, but everything to gain, nothing to lose. Try it. So he wrote in, and believe it or not, I received an answer where I had to take the violin to the town hall, because it was done in conjunction with the mayor of those days. And I went down into this large room in the town hall. I think it was packed with all types of people. Every instrument except the kitchen sink. I played, I remember a study, and then I did a variation of it. With holding the violin, of course I could hear what I was playing. The vibrations went through my bones. And I came away, and to my surprise, I received a telephone call to say that I'd passed and I was receiving a letter from the Guildhall, which I did, and they said that I would have to take an audition. My audition would be to conduct the New World Symphony by Dvorak. It's one of my favorites. I liked it. I've played it many, many times. But to conduct it, as they say in Yiddish, das ist eine andere Sache. So what I did, I had the records, I played the records as loud as possible, and I had great difficulty in hearing it. But I had an idea. As I placed my foot under the table, I felt a vibration, and some idiotic idea came into my mind. I got myself a small box, and I stood on it like a rostrum and played the record. And I felt vibrations through the soles of my feet. Of course, I had my shoes off. And I thought, going to hear, and I'm going to conduct whatever I have to conduct. I will do it, and I will feel the vibrations through my feet. Cutting a long story short, I did it. I learned, I knew the score, I knew the music, and when it came to the slow movement, which is the Hovis music, the Hovis movement I used to call it, I watched the oboist phrase it, so I knew exactly where I was in the score. The last movement, I admit, I took a little bit too fast, but nevertheless, we started together and we finished together. That was the main thing. To my surprise, I won a scholarship at the Guildhall School of Music for conducting. But I did have a problem. At mid-term and every end of the year, I didn't take any exams because I couldn't hear. So I went to my doctor and I said, so I knew him, he was a Yiddish doctor. I said, do me a favor, I said, give me a note each time. And I've been at the Guildhall for about 18 months. And he said, well, what are you suffering from? Then I thought, vertigo. He said, what? I said, vertigo. If I lose this grant, where to go? So he gave me the note, and I lost it there for 18 months. And one afternoon, I'm going up the steps, I felt a hand on my shoulder, and one of the professors said, oh, I got you at long, long last. He said, you haven't taken any examinations. He said, now come with me. He took me into a room. He sat me down at a desk, gave me manuscript, pencil, and a rubber. And he said, and then he played on a tape an octet, and he said, write out the first clarinet part. Of course, I couldn't hear it. After 1 hour, he came back. And he said, well, what's happened? So I admitted, I'm afraid, I'm deaf. He then schlepped me into the principal's office. He told the principal I was deaf. They called the other professors into the office, and I was charged with being a fraud, which I admitted, yes. I got through it. He said, well, you'll have to leave straight away. You've got to leave. But will you do us a great favor? I said, of course I will. What is it? He said, don't tell anyone at all, and this is the first time I've let it out, because every Sunday morning, those professors were broadcasting from Radio 3 on the classical program. And if that got out, the newspapers would make quite a schmaltz. So I thought to myself, vertigo, now I know which way to go. I said, I'll do it on one condition, that you let the grant go to the end of the term. And he looked at me, he said, that's blackmail. I said, no, not quite blackmail. I am preserving your names as professors of this wonderful school of music, but I'm also preserving my future. And he said, if we say no, and I said, I'll catch the first bus to Fleet Street. They allowed me to have the grant for the end of the term. At least I could have a few meals. and I just, it gave me a little breathing space. It was then that I found eventually, eventually I had an operation, and I went into the Charing Cross Hospital. I was the last patient in the old Charing Cross Hospital. They were knocking the walls down. The mice were running around the beds. The nurses were screaming. I was operated on the Friday night, Friday afternoon. On the Saturday morning, the surgeon came in, and he came in with a bunch of papers, and he got me dressed. I could hear so I could feel the vibrations of the machines as they were breaking the walls. And he said to me, look, I had learned how to lip read by then. Look, he said, sign the paper here and we'll put you into a home for incurables, because there's going to be certain nerves and certain things in your system that is going to go rotten, and you'll be a vegetable within a certain time. I said, thank you very much. The news is great. I said, I'll find a way. I'll find a way, but first I've got to get out of here. They dressed me, they gave me my case, they put me outside. I remember stopping someone in the street and said, please, would you please point me to the underground where the train I wanted to get, the Hammersmith line. And they took me. I had someone to look after me. But eventually I found a Yiddish surgeon in Liverpool, Professor Harold Zalin. I met his tutor who came from Russia, and I was 3.5 hours on the table. I had to be awake for it. And when he finished, I could hear a pin drop, and I could see. I came down to London and I thought, right, this is it. This is my next job into show business. I start a new era. There's one thing I have learned. One thing I have learned. If you want something, go for it. You can do it. And the word impossible shouldn't be in your vocabulary.